beautiful night for some football.
Joey Logano steps into history.
Scotty Scheffler takes it all.
A lot of stars for you on Sunday Night Football.
He suffered a high ankle sprain on Sunday, but today, Patrick Mahomes is good to go as the Chiefs look to close in on home field advantage in the playoffs. And 1,000 miles away from Kansas City is our home for the day. Welcome to one of the top family destinations year-round and certainly during the holidays, Universal Orlando. What's up, everyone? It's Maria Taylor here with some of my closest friends, and we're just hanging out because in May, the Epic Universe will be the 4th theme park to open here in Orlando. So today, we're going to give you a sneak peek and get you set for a special Saturday of football, starting with a couple of division champs, the Texans and the Chiefs on NBC.
Back-to-back champion.
They have created incredible experiences. But we know it's always about the next one.
Legendary. I want to get 3, though. Way to hunt.
So how do we make it even better?
Texas-style football.
You embrace a world inspired by the epic.
Patrick with Mahomes magic.
You go inside the stories
Who's writing these scripts?
and make the dream a reality.
The Texans are going back to the postseason.
So as we approach the moment when thrill, fear, and joy come together,
Seals the deal.
we take pride in the history.
Division dominance.
Even as we know, the next big ride awaits.
And we are on the ride already here on a Saturday of NFL football, a special holiday edition here at Football Night in America. From the Universal City Walk, we've got fans joining us and hanging out. I'm seeing Miami Dolphins fans. I see some Texans. I see Kansas City fans.
We got babies out there. We got everything.
Babies. We've got the Grinch. A little bit of everything for you. Did you guys hear a boo when they said Patrick Mahomes?
They did boo Patrick
I don't
Mahomes.
like that.
What's going on?
Come on now.
Nobody likes a winner, they say.
Is that what happened?
Yes, not.
What we love, though, is Patrick Mahomes, 1-5, the 2-time NFL MVP, 3-time Super Bowl champ, is going to play, even though he injured that ankle. So let's talk about what that means. I mean, there's certainly a consideration that has to be made about how you play this game. What do you think the Chiefs' plan should be going into it?
The biggest thing the Chiefs do is they handle all distractions. Everyone, is he going to play? They should sit him. They were like, hey, he's a full participant all week. No injury designation. Yeah, we lighten practice a little bit, but we have 3 games in 11 days. They totally took out a distraction. Patrick Mahomes is ready to go.
No doubt he is. And all that stuff goes back to the leadership of their head coach, Andy Reid. Nobody does it better than Andy does. But this injury is a real thing. Mobility, obviously, a big part of Mahomes' game. They haven't been blocking very well in pass protection, particularly on the left-hand side. So the pass rush will be a factor. Joe Tooney has done a great job. Look for Andy Reid to run the ball more with Pacheco and get the ball out of Mahomes' hands quickly.
Maybe some good news for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Hollywood Brown expected to make his Chiefs debut today. Remember, injured that shoulder on the first play of the first preseason game. Yeah, set to go. Meanwhile, someone else who's set to go, Chris Sims. I don't know where he went. I think he just ended up somewhere in the crowd. But what are you thinking about the way C.J. Stroud will handle going on the road, taking on the Kansas City Chiefs?
Hey,
I'm here hanging out with some of my Universal Studio friends here. That's where I am, okay? I wanted to see the theme park a little bit. But, yes, you brought up C.J. Stroud. A lot of talk in the NFL right now about the regression of C.J. Stroud in year 2. I'm here to tell you it's not C.J. Stroud. Yes, there's a regression, but it's more about the offense in totality. People have caught on to Bobby Slovik's offense and what he does. They're exposing the schematics of the pass protection, let alone the interior part of the offensive line. The 2 guards, the center, they have not physically played well either. Look for them today to the 3-step drop passing game. Kansas City blitzes. We know they can pressure and be creative up front. They got to get the ball out of C.J. Stroud's hands to avert disaster. We'll see if they can do that. Maria, back to you.
All right, thanks, Chris. Listen, it's about 55 degrees here in Florida. They keep telling us it's cold. That's what they say. But in Kansas City, it feels like 22. But that's where Jack Collinsworth and Tony Dungy are spending the day hanging out, getting prepped for this one. Good afternoon, guys.
Florida doesn't know what cold is.
They don't. They have no idea.
You know that well, Coach Dungy, and sending our best to Hot Rise, a little under the weather. But, Coach, I'm just thinking about temps following here at Arrowhead. Getting kind of cold out here as we come into Kansas City. Kansas City's the 1 seed. Patrick Mahomes, he's playing through an ankle injury. So the Chiefs, they have the league right where they want him. We've been out here watching about a half an hour. He looks totally like himself. I didn't see anything that made me worry. Did you?
No, from all the Chiefs' standpoint, business as usual. I talked to Matt Nagy, the offensive coordinator. He's not calling plays any differently. Carson Wentz, backup quarterback, said he practiced a little bit early, but he's not thinking of playing. And Patrick said he's fine. He's good to go. No restriction.
Yeah, I talked with Xavier Worthy a little bit as well, and he goes, you shouldn't be worried at all. Mahomes is a dog. When he needs to beat that guy to the edge, he will. Sorry, go ahead. What were you saying?
No, he is a dog, and he's very excited about having Hollywood Brown. Maria mentioned it. Hollywood's going to be in the lineup and in the plan today.
Coach, how about for the Texans? What was the most interesting thing you heard about going up against Mahomes?
Well, it's interesting. I talked to C.J. Stroud. He said DeMeco Ryans their head coach. He wants to win the time of possession, but that's not the case for CJ. He feels like we got to score points. We got to get up. We can't let Patrick Mahomes have the last drive.
They know it well. And along with our traditional NBC and Peacock broadcast, we've also got an alternate Manning cast on Peacock. This is going to be fun. Blending some of the video game elements and live action from the game. And Paul Burmeister is in there leading the way. All you, Paul.
Hey, Jack, thank you. We are all super excited for the very first Madden NFL cast. I'll be joined by these guys, former NFL quarterback Kurt Bankert and, former NFL star wide receiver Chad Johnson. If you're wondering how this will work or what it might look like, here's what you can see. Everything you've come to know about the Madden video game will be immersed into the actual game. The buttons, the route trees, X factors, superstar icons, it's all here. We can also access the Madden playbook to discuss the plays and strategies both teams should be using. Kurt played quarterback in the NFL as recently as 2 years ago, now teaches the game online via the Madden game itself. What are you most looking forward to today?
I am really excited to see these overlays that we just saw into this game, and I think it's just going to bring both of these worlds together, the Madden world, the real world, and I think it's going to be a viewing experience that a lot of people are going to enjoy.
Hey, Chad Johnson is an official Madden ratings adjuster throughout the year. It'll be using that skill today if a player plays well enough to deserve a boost. How are you evaluating to see if they are worthy of that?
Listen, I'm evaluating based on what they've done throughout the entirety of the season, not just tonight. But as far as tonight is concerned, can you be consistent against very, very good competition?
And I know there's a few players that you're taking a peek at here today.
Yes, listen, I have 6 players, but 2 in particular that I'm really looking at, especially for the Chiefs, Xavier Worthy. I'm waiting for that production to match up with the speed that we saw at the Combine. And then my guy, Joe Mixon for the Texans, he has an opportunity and a chance to get that X factor added to his rating.
It is everything you know and love about Madden combined with an NFL broadcast. We do it for the first time at the top of the hour on Peacock.
All right, thank you so much, Paul. Listen, this didn't make Chad's player watch, but we wanted to talk about the Madden ratings of some guys that are on the set. Devin, do you have the highest rating? No, Tony Dungy's Super Bowl winning Colts do, but you still impressed?
My picture might be the best on there. Look at everybody else's picture. These guys are old.
Jason, what's going on?
Yeah, those are old school graphics. I don't know where that came from.
Even Sims is looking real old. At least we know what Devin looks like. Okay, this is your play, though. Pick 6. Talk me through it.
Where's Sims at? We're going against the Giants. You cannot be sloppy when Devin McCourty's around. And guess what? Where's the speed? He's going to get there. Can we get a celebration?
Oh,
the
high stepping, too. I love it.
Right, not when Devin McCourty's around.
Go ahead.
They're not surprised.
That's our guy right here.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay, so the fans do love Devin. We're going to find out why you guys keep booing Patrick Mahomes. We're going to talk about that during the break. But we're going to be... See, do you hear this? The hatred. They're just trying to...
Yeah, it's bad.
Me. My guy Chris, who's a really big Patrick Mahomes fan, says, y'all chill out real quick. Coming up next, we're going to take a look at some of the teams trying to lift the Lombardi Trophy with an epic twist. Don't go anywhere.
Football Night in America is brought to you by Applebee's, the official grill and bar sponsor of the NFL.
Just down the road from us here in Orlando, it's one of the most beloved events on the golf calendar, the PNC Championships. Tiger Woods and his son Charlie headline the field of 20 golf icons and their family members. The coverage starts on NBC right after the Texans-Chiefs game. Now, about 5 miles away, Epic Universe will open here at Universal on May 22nd. The theme park will consist of 5 worlds. The Harry Potter's Ministry of Magic and Super Nintendo World are some of them. And there will be special portals that transport you to each world. So in the spirit of that, we're going to do the same while looking at the playoff picture portal. Let's go into it, Jason, and start with the teams who may be booking tee times with Tiger and Charlie soon.
Yeah, I think it's San Francisco and Miami. In San Francisco's case, certainly a Super Bowl hangover for them. They've had holdouts, they've had injuries, they've had tragedy off the field. Offense isn't playing with the same rhythm. Defense doesn't have an edge. It's been a rough year out there in San Francisco. And in Miami, the big story was Tua being out. But maybe the bigger story is it's hard for them to go on the road and win tough ball games. They're feeling the effects of that right now.
Yeah, loser of that game will end their playoff contention. But Devin, what teams are on the bubble that you're watching?
There we have the Seattle Seahawks. This team explosive on offense, can score in multiple ways, and defensively they know how to get after the passer with that defensive front. Seattle could be dangerous. But how about this guy, Matthew Stafford and the Rams? He's the one quarterback no NFC playoff teams want to see the veteran guy still doing it. Oh yeah, and then there's Joe Cool, the Bengals. It's a long shot, but if they get in, Joe Burrow does not lose in the playoffs.
All right, Chris, let's talk about some teams that are in but trying to reach the summit of the NFC North.
That's right. You talk about the Minnesota Vikings. It's probably the least talked about 12-2 team in recent history. They're getting no love. They got explosive playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. Their defense is creative, but I think everybody questions, can Sam Darnold deliver in the playoffs? Then there's the Green Bay Packers. Really talented. One of the most young teams in all of football. They can hang with the Lions and Eagles, and Jordan Love is playing real good football right now.
And guys, let's talk about some of the top contenders just trying to dethrone the Chiefs in New Orleans. Jason.
Let's go, Buffalo. Are you kidding me? Love the Buffalo Bills. Now opportunistic on defense. They have the MVP of the NFL playing quarterback for them. There's a great vibe there right now.
Can you imagine Eagles fans on Bourbon Street? This team is playing some of the best football in the NFL right now, both sides of the ball.
Oh, the kneecap biters, the Detroit Lions. That's right. They're here. An elite offense. They're going to have to continue to be elite with all the defensive injuries. Jared Goff and company are going to have to carry the squad.
Well, let's take a look at the AFC playoff picture. We talked about the Bills a little bit earlier. They're 2 games behind the Chiefs for the 1 seed, but remember, Buffalo owns the tiebreaker after their win over Kansas City last month. Meanwhile, the Texans have already wrapped up the AFC South, and the Steelers can win the AFC North later today. They're at the Ravens, who would clinch a berth with a win. Now, Lamar Jackson coming off another 5-touchdown game last week, but he struggled a bit against the Steelers. He's 1-4 in 5 starts, thrown 5 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. Chris, what would Lamar have to do to improve his success against the Steelers?
Well, you said it right, Maria. This is a guy we're used to seeing make magic, big plays everywhere in the football field, 30-plus point games. This is the one team that's been his kryptonite. They have not been able to create that magic, and I think there's a lot of reasons for it. The first is the disciplined pass rush. They have the guys and the personnel on the edge, and they don't rush upfield. They contain him. Lamar's got to be less greedy in this game. You see people open down the middle and on the sidelines, throw the ball, take the completion, and move on.
And everyone talks about, be careful if you blitz Lamar Jackson. You're sprinkling in there, and Deshaun Elliott breaks down, does a good job getting and tackling and wrapping up Lamar Jackson. It's the hardest thing to do, but this Pittsburgh defense, they understand. Make Lamar drive the field. Don't give him an explosive big play. See if he can be patient and do it over and over again for 4 quarters.
Your point about the blitz, too. Pittsburgh, Blitzburgh, they're going to trick you as a quarterback 1 or 2 times every game. You have to have a plan in your head for when that happens of going, where am I going to get the ball out of my hand really quick? Because you know that's going to happen a few times.
And one key for Baltimore, keep running the ball. Don't let, because you get a few runs, stop, that you just focus on Lamar Jackson having to make every
away
play.
From it too quick last game, no doubt about that. All right, Maria, back to you.
Yeah, I got a fan actually that says, I got an idea, I've got the plan. Give the ball to King Henry, let him go wherever he would like to go. Especially, there you go,
there
show it off.
It's a good idea.
I told Todd Munkin, that's what he said. Just give him the ball. All right, let's take a look at the NFC playoff picture. 3 playoff spots have already been locked up. The Lions, Eagles, and Vikings are all 12-2 and going for that 1 seed. Green Bay and Washington can clinch a berth this week. The Bucs are leading the NFC South, and they're at the Cowboys right here on Sunday Night Football. And the Falcons are a game back of Tampa, but have the tiebreaker, and Atlanta's made a change at quarterback, benching Kirk Cousins. And the rookie, Michael Penix Jr., will get his first start against the Giants. Let's look at that a little bit further, Coach. And what will Michael Penix Jr. bring for this Falcons offense that has been reeling a bit down the stretch?
Well, this is the right decision by Raheem Morris. The last 5 games, Kirk Cousins has not played well at all. 1 touchdown, 10 interceptions. He has to do this. They're 1 game behind Tampa for that divisional race, so keep him in it with 3 games to play. I love Penix coming out of school.
Yeah.
This guy has that trait that all the great ones have. When a guy's in his face, he stands in there and he rips the ball. They'll move Penix more than they did Kirk Cousins. Get that running game going, get that movement game going, and maybe he provides that spark that they need.
Penix has started 61 games in college. He's 24 years old, so a little bit older. Have you ever dealt with a situation like this when you've got a young quarterback coming up, and I think you have, and you have to bench a veteran or make a tough decision? How do you handle it?
Yeah, we actually had the reverse situation in 2016. Tony Romo, our starting quarterback, got hurt. Dak Prescott was a backup. He goes in there and he plays, and we win 11 straight games. And Tony comes back and eventually is healthy, but we had to make a hard decision to keep Prescott in there. Tony had been a great player for us for a long time, but that was the right decision. And as a head coach, you got to stand in there and make those calls. Raheem Morris is doing that.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt you're going against the Giants. They're injury-riddled. They've only won
That'll
2
help.
games. That's a good start for the rookie. But let's get more on this. A PFT update brought to you by Accenture. Mike Florio back in our studio in Stamford, Connecticut. What are you hearing on Kirk Cousins' future?
Well, look, Maria, I'll start with Michael Penix Jr. first. He had no idea this was coming. There was no, hey, be ready, we might put you into the game. He found out when Kirk Cousins found out, and he had very limited work with the starting offense before this week. So this week was all about getting him ready to go with players like Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson. And he has to get comfortable with them. They have to get comfortable with him because he's left-handed. Kirk Cousins right-handed. And as to Cousins, there's been a lot of speculation about his future. There are contractual issues. Could he be traded? Could he be released? I'm told that for Cousins, he's going to take an entire month away from football after this season, get a physical and mental reset, and then after that month, he'll begin to figure out what he's going to do next.
All right, he's handling it with class. Thank you, Florio. Meanwhile, Patrick Mahomes, no doubt on who's starting this game. It is 1-5 in his 7th season as a starting QB. Doesn't look like he's limping too much.
It looks like he's skipping and hopping, baby.
Yeah, a jump, skip, and a hop. We know that Patrick Mahomes can pretty much play through anything, as he's proven, as his Chiefs look to make it a three-peat and do something no one's ever done. Meanwhile, we told you that the Universal's Epic Universe isn't scheduled to open until May, but somehow, I don't know how this happened, Devin managed to jump the line. He gave his family an early holiday surprise and showed us what we can expect this spring.
Okay, open. How about going to the wizarding world of Harry Potter at Universal's Epic Universe? Let's go. Welcome to the Ministry of Magic, guys. Is this cool?
Yeah!
And he slices into the end zone. Touchdown!
This is Football Night in America, served by Applebee's.
Hit it.
Saturday Night Live. I tell everybody and their mama to do that thing.
I do these super eloquent pump-up speeches for my teammates. More. And sometimes I even do it in my Pat Mahomes voice.
SNL is such an unbelievable experience.
You know it hit different when they in the nightgown. She's so unpredictable. This is the best day of my life.
It's so much fun to be a part of it. It's a roller coaster of a week.
More.
We'll feel the energy and the excitement and electricity in the building.
Go ahead, Miss Linda, with the bad self.
Super Bowl, I'm more in my element, so I'd probably say I was a little more nervous for SNL.
We love you guys.
Everywhere he goes, Travis Kelce entertains, and tonight, SNL's final show for a holiday break. Martin Short hosting, Hosier, your musical guest for the evening, and Kelce on his way to leading the Chiefs in catches and receiving yards for a 4th straight season. But it's felt a little different. Hasn't scored a touchdown in 6 weeks. So, Coach, the question is this still the guy that you double all the time, or how do you defend Kelce at this point in his career?
Well, he gets the most targets, but he's not making the big plays like he has in the past. I don't expect the Texans Texans to double him today. What they are going to do is do what they did last week. Sit down on the short routes. Miami threw a lot of short balls. Kansas City is doing the same thing. They have protection problems. I think they're going to squeeze that field, sit down, and make Patrick Mahomes try to throw the ball deep.
And Coach, kind of fascinating with Kansas City this year. Their left tackle spot has been the big weakness. They take their left guard, Joe Thuney, their all-pro left guard. They kick him out to left tackle. It separates that red wall, all the strength of that unit in the inside. But what do you make of that move? How do you weigh a decision like that?
Well, first of all, very unselfish by Joe Thuney, one of the best guards in the league, to move out to tackle, play a position you're unfamiliar with. He's trying to do that to help the team. I think I would probably approach it a little differently. Leave my red wall tight together inside, the strongest part of my offense. Help that left tackle. And that's what I would do. And that is one of the reasons why I think Kelce's numbers are down, too, as far as big plays. They have to use him to chip more to help that guy. They've got to take care of those outside rushes from Houston today.
Yeah, well, Mahomes has been hit 102 times this year, Coach, more than any quarterback in the league. So you see why they get a little creative with it as we send it back in to Maria.
I appreciate it, Jack. You know, on defense, the Chiefs rely on that guy, Trent McDuffie, and he got his first career interception last week at Cleveland, thanks to a big assist from a place you might not expect.
I somehow glanced up at the Jumbotron and just saw him launching. I was like, that's to my side, so let me just turn around and cut the ball. I could just tell by the way the receiver was running, his eyes, he was kind of just like lolling around, so I was like, is it a run? Like, did the pass already come out? As I just peeked, and I was like, all right, let's do it. Nico grabbed it after, so I haven't seen it yet, but once I leave here, I'm going to tell him, go get me that football so I can sleep with it tonight.
And I'm sure he did. Real talk, you ever use the Jumbotron to help you get an interception?
No, you know how hard that is? Like, at home, you probably hear that. You're like, oh, that's a smart kid. Yeah. That's hard to look at a Jumbotron, then turn around and make a good catch in the end zone. I'm surprised that's his first interception doing things like that.
More than impressive.
Right.
Let's talk about this defense for the Chiefs. I mean, they've obviously been impressive, but the Texans, I mean, their longest play on offense was a block or a faked punt last week against Miami. What can they do to get their offense rolling against Chiefs defense?
It's been a different story for the Houston offense this year. Last year, year one, DeMeco Ryans, Bobby Slowick, their offensive coordinator, C.J. Stroud, they kind of took the league by storm. The best thing about the NFL, though, is they're going to study you. They're going to see what you do, how you do it, and they're going to eat you alive, and you got to make sure you evolve. They haven't done that. It's been a lot rougher for them offensively. The biggest issue, though, is they're not blocking anybody up front. The protection's been poor. It's been a hard environment for C.J. Stroud to throw it. They've had some injuries outside. When they're healthy, that gives them a better chance, but they're not real good up front right now.
There has to be a philosophical change there a little bit. People have caught onto the scheme, like Jason's saying, and then added to that, they do play-action pass and send 2 and 3 receivers down the field, and they're long developing plays. So that doesn't make sense with bad pass protection. I'd like to see them get into the quick passing game a little bit more. He's the second most sacked quarterback in all of football right now, C.J. Stroud, and when he's sacked 3 times or less, they're undefeated. So to Jason's point, it's all about pass pro with the Houston Texans right now.
And take advantage of Nico Collins. You have a guy who's a mismatch nightmare. How is Kansas City going to match up? Are they going to put McDuffie on him, or are they going to play more zone, play more 2 high safeties and try to take that away? And if they take him away, hey, this speed guy, Tank Dell, get him the ball and then run Joe Mixon.
I got it. All good. But the guy they got to feature is Joe Mixon.
Yes.
Joe Mixon's their best offensive player right now. Give him the ball, hand it to him, throw it to him, take some pressure off everybody else.
Okay, they got to do it against the 5th best defense in the NFL and the Chiefs right now. We're going to go back to the studio, though. Now it's time for the DraftKings Sportsbook 3 play. Matthew Berry in the studio. You hit last week. What you got for us today? Let's go.
Yeah, thanks, Maria. Well, listen, hey, you're out there in Orlando, Revenge of the Mummy. How about revenge for DeAndre Hopkins against his former team? I like him to go over 3.5 receptions in this game. Remember, he's gone over this number in 4 straight games and 6 of his past 7. So give me the over on 3.5 receptions for one of Patrick Mahomes' favorite minions, DeAndre Hopkins. I'm going to stick with Kansas City for the second leg. And you know what's an island of adventure? Xavier Worthy. Andy Reid always finds creative ways to use his speed. Worthy runs like he's escaping from Gringotts. So I'm taking Xavier Worthy to go over 1.5 rushing yards. He ranks top 3 among all wide receivers in both rush attempts and rushing yards this season. Oh, and by the way, he's had at least 5 rushing yards in 4 of the last 5 games. Don't be surprised to see Worthy running fast and furious today. And finally, with both teams banged up and playing on a short week, I'm not expecting these teams to suddenly transform into a rip-ride rocket of a game. I'm taking an alt-under of 51.5. I don't see scoring getting high here. It's going to be more in a fear fall today. I'm taking the under of 51.5. That's an alt line, and that is my DraftKings 3 play for today.
That's on fire. That's ever, Matthew.
Like Popeye the Sailor Man.
Hit me.
All right, guys, with the holiday season here, you probably don't need any help getting in the spirit, but just in case you do, listen to a 4-year-old Patrick Mahomes. This should do the trick.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very jolly love, and I bet the river saw him here every day it was. All of the reindeer used to all up and go and play. We never show any reindeer game.
That might be the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Yes,
Meanwhile, the fans are like, boo. Boo that. We can't.
The guy can do it all. Mahomes can do it all.
They've been hanging out with the Grinch a little too long over here. Okay, booing the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, but we're having a fun time in our Christmas spirit in the Epic Universe opening up in May. Just enjoying Orlando's Universal Resort. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs getting ready to continue their race for the 1 seed.
To the Hyundai Kickoff.
Patrick Mahomes getting the Chiefs ready. We watched them all warm-ups. Coach, this looks like the 15 we're used to.
Yeah, I think he's going to be just fine. We shouldn't have to worry about Patrick.
And over on the other side, C.J. Stroud, elevated expectations after his monster rookie season, year 2. It brought new challenges, but already has Houston back in the playoffs. And earlier this season, Coach Dungy stopped by to check in with head coach D'Amico Ryans and learn about that chemistry with his QB.
Your first pick in your regime was C.J. Stroud.
Yeah,
what's your relationship been like with him?
It's been a great relationship. I remember our first meeting here to just sit down with him one-on-one in my office and just to get his background story. It wasn't about the football. I talked to him about his family, about his mother, his father, how he was raised, adversity he went through growing up. That's what took it over the hill for me. It was like, oh, no doubt I want this guy because he has some substance to him.
How long did it take you during that interview to say, this is our guy?
It doesn't take long. It doesn't take long. Let's go, man! Let's go! Having him here his second year now, he's shown so much growth as a player and as a leader off the field. Like this locker room, they rally behind him, they listen to him, and he's done a great job for us.
And we are on the field presented by Hyundai. Coach, it's a great conversation with the head coach. I'm fascinated, though, that C.J. Stroud himself sat just outside that interview waiting to talk to you for about a half an hour or so. What did he want to know?
He wanted to know about leadership, and he asked me how Peyton Manning led the team. He wanted to be a better leader, and I told him Peyton, his big thing was to help every single one of his teammates be better. And so CJ and I talked about that servant leadership and how he could help his teammates. And as D'Amico said, that's what he's done this year.
And he's been getting beat up all season long, Coach. The only guy that's been sacked more is Caleb Williams. So what's your read? His numbers are down, the stats are down, everybody's talking about it. How do you see it?
He's played tremendous football. His 2 wide receivers in and out of the lineup, his 2 best receivers. The offensive line hasn't been great. He hasn't shouldered anything on anyone else. He's taken the heat and said, we've got to be better, I've got to be better, and his guys love him for that.
Well, Kansas City is driving this car, but the road could be tough to this 1 seed. Steve Kornacki, he is crunching all the numbers on what this means today to the Kansas City Chiefs. All you, Steve.
Look, on the surface, the Chiefs are sitting pretty. 3 games to go. They got a 2-game lead over the Bills for that top seed. And if they can take care of business at home, beat the Texans today, the Chiefs will be sitting pretty for the top seed. They would have nearly a 90% chance of getting it. All they would need with a win today is to either split their final 2 games or have the Bills lose just 1 of their final 3. That would be enough for the Chiefs. But if the Chiefs don't win today, if the Texans pull the upset, this picture changes, and it changes dramatically. dramatically. If the Chiefs lose, that race for the 1 seed between the Chiefs and the Bills, you see, basically becomes a toss-up. Because, look, play this out. With a loss today, what would the Chiefs then need? They would either need to sweep their final 2 games. 2 games on the road, very hostile environments. One, potentially against a Broncos team that could be fighting for its playoff life. The Chiefs would either need to sweep those 2 games or split them, and then they would need the Bills in that case to lose one of these 3. And how about this for a Christmas present for a team? The Bills are closing their season with the Pats, the Jets, and then the Pats again. And if the Bills can sweep those 3 games and get this help from the Chiefs, the Bills, the door will be wide open for the Bills to get that 1 seed. Because remember, if the Bills can finish tied with the Chiefs in the standings, Buffalo beat them head-to-head in the season, that would be the tiebreaker for them. So that race for the 1 seed, obviously, you get the home field, that's big stakes there. But for the Chiefs, with Mahomes' situation, it might be that extra week of rest, the bye that comes with the top seed, that could be even more critical for them this year.
Look, Steve Kornacki lays it out basically perfectly, exactly what the Chiefs need in order to get that 1 seed. But if you're the Chiefs, how do you manage the importance of the 1 seed, the rest that comes with that? The health of Patrick Mahomes now. You're playing 2 games in 5 days, and one of them's the Steelers. You got the Texans. These are tough games. What is the most important thing right now for the Chiefs?
These are medical decisions, okay? If Patrick Mahomes is healthy and functional and able to play, he's going to play. So this idea that we're going to rest him and do that's not real life. He's going to play. We saw him. He's got a little spring in his step. This game matters to them. I love the Chiefs. I love their head coach. I love their coordinators, the experience. This is a generational team. Remember, they're going for a 3-peat, and they're 13-1. So I love the Bills, but my chips are in the middle of the table. These guys are going to finish the job and be the 1 seed.
And the key is always to be playing your best football. And the Chiefs are getting close. I know everyone's talking about it. It's not what we're used to. We haven't seen this, but when you watch them, the Hollywood Browns coming back, there are a few drops. Xavier Worthy, 11 targets last week, 3 carries, like he's showing up more. So this team is a lot closer to being playoff ready.
Go back to Christmas Day last year. The Chiefs, they were struggling. It's not the same team. They got it right at crunch time. They understood the roles of the different players. I like the skill players around Mahomes this year much better than last year. They're going to get your guy from Rutgers, Pacheco, going here, and he's going to make everybody's lives better.
Yeah, and as long as Patrick Mahomes 1-5 is out there, the Chiefs have found different ways to win ball games every single game this season. It is time now, though, for an all-state check-in. Chris Sims, part of the Mahomes magic is his mobility, but that's a little bit in question this week with the ankle.
It is definitely in question. We know that, Maria. And mobility is imperative for Patrick Mahomes. And why, you might ask? For a number of different reasons. One, like you said, the magic man, when he is outside the pocket, this is what gives defensive coordinators headaches. His ability to buy time outside the pocket and avoid bad plays. And then this year, not good pass protection at the left tackle position. So, of course, Patrick Mahomes needs to move a lot and make plays. And then they have not been able to separate a whole lot down the field. So that is also where Mahomes has been able to buy time, let guys separate, find the guy down the field, open receiver. If he can't move a lot today, this is what I think we're going to see more of. In the pocket, not a lot of movement, and then when he feels the pocket collapsing, he's just going to throw it away and try to avoid disaster. We'll see what happens here very shortly, Maria.
All right, that was the all-state check-in, and, you know, Patrick Mahomes, you can heard Chris kind of mention it a little bit, but he's been sacked 35 times this season. Change of the game plan, the shift would be what, knowing the injury?
I see more run game, and I see the ball coming out of his hand more quickly. I don't see him standing in that pocket and throwing the ball away. I think they're going to take a proactive approach and get it out of his hand.
And with that ankle, I can see the Houston Texans being a little bit more aggressive, getting after him, coming with pressure up the middle so he can't escape and you can get to him a little easier this week.
Well, Mahomes is not the only one that's been under a ton of pressure. So has C.J. Stroud. You heard Jack Collinsworth mention it just a little bit earlier. Both these two quarterbacks under pressure a ton. Their completion percentage in those situations are near the bottom of the league, and both of their offensive lines have really struggled. Now, there aren't many quarterbacks who have been sacked or taken as many hits as them, so that's something that we will certainly be watching today. Let's go back to Stamford, Connecticut, and Matthew for Barry's Bet, brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook.
Maria, this year's Houston's red zone offense has been more up and down than a hippogriff. As a result, Texans kicker Kaimi Fairbairn has attempted the second most field goals in the NFL. So my Barry's Bet today is Fairbairn over 1.5 made field goals. Get this, part of his forbidden journey this year has been that he's made at least 2 field goals in 10 straight games. So give me the over on 1.5 field goals today for Kaimi Fairbairn.
DraftKings Sportsbook is the #1 place to bet touchdowns, and new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download the app and use promo code SNF when you sign up.
It's that time of year again. Yuletide carols, ugly sweaters, and football.
It looks like that toe's on the line.
Toe.
Oh, my goodness.
Flag thrown on the play. Hit in the back before the ball arrived. You know, that's a Kansas City Christmas right there.
It's blocked! It's blocked! It's blocked!
A season of miracles.
The Chiefs get a fumble recovery on a bad snap.
It's not always pretty.
The dike for the division.
But now it's looking oh so good.
Look at that.
Just one big happy family. Chris is still wearing his ugly Christmas sweater.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that.
Here at Universal Orlando Resort, enjoying Universal City Walk. All of our NFL fans are here with us. And we're getting set for the Chiefs and the Texans. And moments ago, Tony Dungy caught up with the Chiefs All-Pro corner, Trent McDuffie.
All right, Trent, big game against the Texans. What has Coach Reid's message been to you guys this week?
Man, this is going to be an exciting game. You know, he called it a playoff atmosphere. When you get to go against a really good team like the Texans, good offense, good defense, you got to come ready to play. So we're ready, warmed up, beautiful weather. Got the crowd out here. We excited to play.
Yeah, they've got a lot of weapons on offense. What's your focus going to be on defense?
Yeah, I mean, we got to make it one-dimensional, you know, stop the run, make sure they start throwing the ball, and the DB got to go out there and start eating.
Nico Collins, big threat for them. Can we expect to see you travel with him, or are you going to man that left side for the most part?
Yeah, no, you know, when I get the opportunity, I'm going to go against him. So excited for this matchup. He's a hell of a player, but, man, I'm excited.
All right, well, good luck. See you.
Thank you so much, man.
All righty.
Hey, not Trent giving us the game plan, though, Devin. He just said everything. Trent McDuffie's ready to eat, and guess what? We got a special twist on our favorite part of the show. Usually it's a Sunday fun day. We got a holiday fun day. We're going to take a look back at some of the best moments we've seen so far this season. Let us start with the Saquon Express.
Hey, forget the Polar Express. It's the Saquon Express. Ooh. Everybody's talking about Josh Allen. I guess he's in the lead for the MVP. This guy's right behind him. He's on pace to break Eric Dickerson's rushing record. He has been phenomenal for the Eagles. Time and time again, I have never seen a play like this in all my years in football. The Saquon Express.
Let's see it again, though.
Fly, Eagles, fly, baby.
That's a great gift right there for the Eagles.
Well, Jason, you know about the old movie Miracle on 34th Street. How about a miracle on Washington Street? Maybe the play of the year, the Hail Mary, the thing that ended the Chicago Bears season.
Haven't been the same.
They have not been the same since.
They haven't won.
Jaden Daniels buying time, throws it up. Unbelievable. Noah Brown. Miracle. Bad defense. Awesome play. It had it all.
That's not anything, though, because so much is going on. Look at the holiday season, the excitement. No, bro, get the crowd going. Everybody deserves Christmas gifts. But how about the Vikings? You talk about joy to the world. The celebrations by the Vikings.
Ray Gun.
Right there, Ray Gun from the Olympics. To think about that and then the finish. Cam Bynum is the leader in the locker room with these celebrations.
They're killing it.
And then the Parent Trap, because everybody loves twins. We always do. So look at Josh Metellus, Cam Bynum, but then they bring out one of the best movies, White Chicks. Oh, look at the flip.
Wow.
The Vikings, they know how to do it as a defense, and they finish with strong celebration.
Man, you can sing. That was good. I want to hear more of that. All right?
That's the gift that keeps on giving.
Hey, well, how about the Winter Wonderland? Two epic games. This one in Cleveland. It's the Snow Globe game. Jameis Winston, the wristbands flopping all over the place. He's diving into the end zone. And how about Josh Allen? Amari Cooper flipped it to him. Josh lays out.
Fair. That's not fair.
It's incredible. Off the charts. Epic performance by Josh Allen.
Oh, we got big
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho. Okay, Santa's got a big belly. This guy's got a big belly. My man from the Hook'em Horns, Devondre Sweat.
Look at the stiff arm.
He's 360 pounds, everybody. He is unreal.
How about Jeremiah Ledbetter? It's one thing to get a sack, and you sacked one of the greatest quarterbacks. But he said, hold on 1 minute, guys. Check this out.
Oh.
I can't do that.
Ooh.
I would need a
Almost hit the
trampoline.
landing, but we'll give him credit.
We'll give him credit.
Well,
Big Leonard Williams, you're going to go 90-some yards, the longest big man, pick six.
Take Aaron Rodgers off?
Got to get that oxygen, though.
Yeah.
Get the oxygen,
Ho,
big
ho,
cat.
ho.
Get the oxygen.
Honestly, Santa ain't got nothing on those big men. Listen, the gift that they gave us this season, we've enjoyed it thoroughly. We've enjoyed our time here with these
Yes, we
fans.
have.
We got a Cowboys
Let's go.
flag over here.
The energy.
Come on.
A lot of booing on Mahomes, though.
Appreciate y'all. They are on the rides right now. They're taking a break to hang out with us. It is time for today's Home Team Picks, brought to you by Lowe's America's Pick. America was kind of split today, guys.
Wow.
51% going with the Chiefs. Let's see how the Football Night in America crew does.
Could be trouble. I just have one question for you guys.
Yes, sir.
What does the red vest mean again?
It may not mean that you are the winner. We understand. We understand.
This is coast to coast, baby. Coast to coast.
Tony Dungy, why are you rolling with the Chiefs? Make us look good.
Well, I think, Maria, the game is going to come down to which quarterback deals with the pass rush today. I talked to Patrick Mahomes before the game. I've never seen him more businesslike. The only time his eyes lit up is when we talked about Hollywood Brown. I talked to C.J. Stroud. He said, I know they're going to pressure me. I've got to be ready to set the protections right. If I can do that, we've got receivers that can get behind this secondary. So the question is, which quarterback handles the pressure? I think it's going to be Mahomes. Maria?
All right, well, the Chiefs, they've already won the AFC West for the 9th straight season, and those were today's Home Team Picks brought to you by Lowe's. We are waiting to see whether or not the Texans can roll in and steal one. They're going on the field right now. The difference today could be how that offense performs against the 5th best defense in the NFL. Noah Eagle, Todd Blackledge, Catherine Tappan will have the call. We're going to hang out with all the fans here at Universal and see you at halftime.
This has been the Hyundai Kickoff.